this week's episode of Modern Day Heroes. I'm pumped because I have a real life hero today with me. So this is fun. I interview a lot of people, and some are heroes of others and some are heroes of myself. And this is just one of my personal, intimate heroes. So I'm pumped to jam today, bro.
Dude, I appreciate you. You know how much I look up to you, so that means a lot coming from you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. A lot to dive in. You're I think the word that comes to mind when I think of Kade Peterson is unique in a really good way.
Cool, thanks.
You're just different, and I think it's part of your brand. I think you embrace being different, and 100%. You actually try to be different. And I like different people, dude. So there's a quote by my friend Ben Carey. He says, if you're different, make a freaking difference.
I love that.
And I love that, dude. So anyways, dive in. Tell us a little bit about you. Give the audience a little bit of context on who Kade Peterson is. You can go as long as you want, as short as you want. But go back to the origin, dude. We want to hear about kind of your upbringing, your family, what kind of role that they've played. I know you're super close with your brother. You're close with your parents. And then just kind of catch us up to speed at whatever pace to today.
Okay, I love it. Well, first of all, with what you were saying, I love it. My whole motto and slogan with what I do is normalize not being normal. Why be normal when you can be you? And I just think there's power behind being your true self and being different. So I appreciate you saying.
Where does that come from? Was there a day where it's I'm gonna step into this, or is that just how it's always been?
I don't know if there was a day. It came with my comfort zone journey of just getting out of my comfort zone and just realizing life is so much better when you're just you. Yeah, I would say. So I'll dive into that in a little bit. So a little bit about me. From Utah, grew up with a family got 3 siblings, youngest of 4. Kind of grew up following in the footsteps of my siblings, just trying to be the best that I can be. And we both met in Peru. We served a 2-year mission, which just changed my life. And getting back from there, I started going to school, started selling on Amazon, which is what my brother does, was following in his footsteps. And that has been a huge blessing for me. A lot of ups and downs, as any entrepreneur knows. And I've been doing that for the last 5 years, but I've absolutely loved it. The first 2 years were a bit of a struggle, just kind of learning and growing, as any entrepreneur knows again. And then last 3 years, I've been doing that full time. And it's allowed me to have the freedom to try new things and just kind of be myself. So part of that is I've done content creation for the last 4 years. And when I first started getting into content creation, I was super scared about what people would think of me.
Yeah. Do you remember your first video?
100%.
What was it?
100%. It was a video of me dancing at my parents' house, and I was wearing a mask.
That's right.
Wearing a mask, and I remember filming the video, and just my heart was just racing. So I love to dance, and I was super stoked about TikTok because it's just a dancing social media. Yeah. But everyone was hating on TikTok, saying it's cringe and that it's weird. And so I was dang, I kind of want to do this, but I want people to know. So I wore a mask in my videos, hoping that people would never know it was me. And I did that.
Did you have a different username?
Yeah. So I went by the name Tecker Dance. Okay. Did you know that? No. So yeah, that was my code name was Tecker. And it's funny now people figured out that it was me, and they some people still call me Tecker.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, that was my code name was Tecker, and I did that for a while, and I had a lot of fun posting these videos, and I had some go viral. And I remember some of my videos that went viral, people would see, my friends would see them and be what the heck, that looks like Kade, and they recognize my dancing or recognize where I was. And I was super embarrassed, dang, people are still finding out that it's me. So I ended up stopping this whole dancing stuff, and I didn't really have any source of income from it. So I shifted my content creation to teaching people how to sell on Amazon. Got burnt out of that. And about 2 years ago, I just went through this just kind of life epiphany where I was man, I am capable of so much more. I got to get out of my comfort zone and just really dive into who I am as a person. And that's what started what I call the Uncomfortable 30. It's a challenge I created where I do one thing every day to get out of my comfort zone. And that point is like the biggest pivot in my life where things just changed. That's where that like, I'm going to be me came from. I don't care what people think. And just started doing all these crazy things to where like now the thought of me wearing a mask to hide who I am just like makes me laugh, because I have done so many things to get out of my comfort zone that like I'm just so comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's cool, man. There's a lot to unpack here, and I want to dive into all of it. Let's go back to, I want to take a piece out of each part.
Okay.
Your family's incredible, and they've like taken me in. I feel like I'm one of their sons, dude, which is just amazing.
You are.
Tell us about some of the things that you've learned from your dad, and some like principles or consistent messages that he's given you that have impacted you with everything that you've created in your life.
Yeah. My dad has been like my greatest example all growing up. As a kid, I didn't even like realize this until I was older and realized just how amazing he is. But something that like really sticks out to me is he instilled in me just like how great I can be.
Yeah.
He believed in me in whatever aspect it was, in sports, in school, as a person. Like he was there to support me in everything, like in student government. Like I could go on and on.
Dude, he is your biggest fan.
Yeah, he seriously helped me so much. And like before games, he would like tell me like, say, hey, you are like one of the best players on this team. Like no one is better. Like he would just like instill this belief in me where even if I wasn't the best player on the field, he helped me to have the mentality that I can be the best player. And like as a kid, like mentality, no one's like focused on mentality. So like that just is a huge edge. And it's just kind of helped me as I'm older, like just keep that just positive mentality, that like swagger mentality of like, man, I can do anything. You know, his biggest quote is, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And so that's something that I've lived by, where it's like, if I think I can do this, I can do it. And then his other quote is, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. I'm sure you've heard him say that. And I live by that too. It's like in anything I do, in all my Amazon, my content creation, if I'm not having fun, I'm not doing it right. And I think life is just so fun. And that is just because of him.
I love that. So when I think of you on a mission, the first day I met you, you were just full of just like smiles and laughter.
Appreciate that.
And it stuck out to me a bunch because as we got to continue to know each other, it was just like, it became more and more of this guy taking this serious, like this super serious calling and this opportunity that is so sacred, and did something that I couldn't do, that I did not accomplish, which was figuring out how to make it so fun and like being your absolute best self through it. And I had a ton of friction of that because I put a ton of pressure on myself to like be the best representative I could. And I think I got confused with what that looked like. And I'm so grateful for my experiences and how that transpired for me and all that I learned from it. But if I could go back, that would be one thing that I would just say to myself is, dude, you got to figure out somehow how to be what you are, what you're doing, and the best version of yourself, and just make it super fun. So I know you mentioned your dad's quote. Some of you guys have lived by, and it's like been a theme for you and your family.
Yeah.
How did you carry that along in your mission in such an environment where it's like we're doing such a serious work?
Yeah.
Tell us about that a little bit.
I mean, like I said, it's just something that my dad like subconsciously put inside me, where it's just like, if I'm not having fun, then I'm doing something wrong. And so like I did things differently than normal.
Yeah.
And would go about doing things in a way so that I was having fun, you know? And I think it's just in any aspect of your life, you just need to be having fun.
I love it. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
The coolest part about your Amazon story to me is that it took you 2 years to get like real traction.
Yeah.
You take the average individual today and you say it's going to take a month for you to see results. 99% of them are not going to do it,
It's
dude.
true, dude. It's crazy.
Literally. I'm in door-to-door sales, and people after 2 days of not experiencing success quit and leave.
It's crazy.
And it's like, holy smokes, dude. In what world are you going to just pick something up and within 2 days be excellent at it? Like,
Yeah.
it's not realistic. And what's sad is we just have the instant gratification of everything, like DoorDash and Uber and our phone and Amazon and everything, where we can get it all right now. And so naturally the environment's wired us to be like that,
100%.
which is a bummer and has its consequences, but also has its pros for sure. How did you hang in the ring for 2 years, bro? Because I'm telling you, if we had 100,000 people, I think, and you've seen it because you teach other people how to do this, 99% of those 100,000 people would not last longer than a month.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Yeah, man. You said it so perfect. I don't even know where to start with this because, yeah, we live in a dangerous world where instant gratification is so prevalent. And yeah, like with everything that you just said. And so there were so many times when I was like, this doesn't work. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. But I think just like having the vision of seeing like what can happen is what helped me. So like my brother, such a huge example to me. He made it. He did it.
Yeah.
In Amazon. And so just knowing that like he did it was just like, okay, I know I can do it eventually. So like my first 6 products I launched, I failed. And it's just like, I know like people do this, and it's kind of go back to like what my dad taught me. It's like, I'm great. Like if I had the mentality of like, man, these people are better than me, that's why they're successful, and I'm just not them, then that automatically just like puts me as the victimhood of just like, I'm not going to do it. But it's like, okay, I'm just as good as anyone else. I can do this. And just like figuring it out. It's like each failure was just a learning lesson, and just having that mentality of just like, I'm just as good as anybody else. I'm going to do this, and just kind of sticking it out and having the discipline to push till the end.
I love that. It's funny because you saw something similar with your content where you literally, I mean, it's 2024. You got home from mission 2018, posted your first video. What day? 2020?
Probably 2020, yeah.
Okay, so it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
TikTok you did well on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it took you some time.
Yeah, I did.
Instagram, literally for 3 years and 8 months, you just kind of stayed the same.
Yeah.
Maybe a little growth here and there.
Yeah.
Once again, most people, I'm in the same phase where it's like most people that do content, it's like, holy crap, dude. Like I'm 5 months in and I'm like, man, when am I going to pop? When am I going to get to the next level?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm committed to the long game, but I think most people would be like, yeah, I tried that. I'm done. So been on Instagram 4 years, 4 to 5 months ago, you saw like your first real pop.
Mm-hmm.
Give us context on how that happened. Give us context on what that 4 years looked like, and then catch us up to speed on what the last 5 months has now done.
Okay. Yeah. So 2020 till end of 2023, I grew probably 400,000 followers on TikTok. And that's like posting consecutively all the time. Really like spending a lot of time growing. And it was only on TikTok, and TikTok is an easier platform to grow on. And lost my account, so total random ban. TikTok
Dive into that a little bit,
account.
because I remember that was a hard moment for you.
Yeah, super hard. So just one day I'm just on TikTok, and just
about a year ago, right?
it was about like 8 months ago. 8 months ago, I just get a notification, pop down, your account was permanently deleted. No reason to why. Like I submitted an appeal. Nothing, like gone. No reason why. I've like worked with so many reps, like hired agencies to figure it out. Super unique case that like agencies were like, we don't actually know. Like this is super interesting. It was like devastating. Like years of work, like 4 years of work, just gone. And it was like man, thinking back to that day, it was just like, holy cow! Everything I just worked for is just gone. And there's nothing I can do about it. And I kind of was just like, okay, maybe content creation isn't for me. And then a couple months went by and I couldn't get my account back. And then I just kind of had this thought of like my greater goal in life and what I want to achieve. And I realized like if that is what I want to do, I have to get back into content creation. And even though they took away my account, they can't take away what I know. They can't take away like everything I've learned over these years. And so I was just like, you know what, I'm starting over. Started a brand new TikTok account, and my Instagram was kind of like my personal life. And I didn't really want to share like my content creation life on Instagram. And I was like, you know what, screw it. Like, I don't care what people think of me. I'm going to post on Instagram, YouTube, all of that. And just took all my like viral content on TikTok and just repurposed it on these new platforms. And they just like popped off.
Sure.
Cause it's like, I know how content creation works. I know these videos did well back then. This is a whole new audience. It's going to work. And so just started in November. I think my Instagram account had like 3,000 followers, and brand new TikTok, so 0, and then brand new YouTube, 0. And now it's been 4 months, and I'm just about to hit 300K on Instagram. I'm at like 150K on TikTok, and then like 5K subs on YouTube.
It's crazy.
It's insane. So I mean, in less than 4 months, I passed my 4 years of work on TikTok.
Wow. So walk us through the formula of success from what you've seen. How does one be successful through content creation? How does one go viral?
I mean, the biggest thing is truly consistency, just like being in it in the long run. There are so many people who have reached out to me like, hey, I'm getting into content creation. Like, I'm going to do this. And then, like you said, they post for weeks, months, and then they're like, this isn't working. And then they just give up. So that is like the biggest thing, is just being consistent for the long run. Anybody who does content creation, if they're in it for the long run, they cannot lose. They'll figure out like what works and what doesn't. And there's like all these agencies that will like, you can pay to get like fake engagement and fake likes to boost your stuff. But the thing that is problematic with those is it doesn't teach you what works and what doesn't. So over these 4 years, when I'd post a piece of content thinking this is such a good piece of content and it doesn't do good, I would then evaluate like, okay, let's figure out why this doesn't work, or this one did good. I'm like, okay, what worked on this one? And so just learning what works and what doesn't has been like what has helped me the most, because now I know like this type of content my audience doesn't want to see, this type of content they want to see, and just kind of figuring out like what works and what doesn't has been the biggest thing for me.
Interesting. So what have you seen works? Let's say I'm sitting here and I'm calling you and I'm like, hey, I want to create as much viral content as possible. Yeah. What advice would you give me?
Yeah. So something that everyone needs to understand when it comes to content creation is you have to play the game. Like, it doesn't matter what it is that you are wanting to do with content creation. If you're wanting to like talk about real estate, if you want to talk about business, if you want to just entertain, it doesn't matter what niche you're in, cooking, whatever it is, you have to play the game, which is people are getting on social media for the dopamine kick. It's an escape. And as sad as like that social media is just like quick dopamine hits, that's just the reality of it. So if you're giving great value and great like advice, if you're not delivering some form of entertainment or some form of like attraction, dopamine kick, it's not going to engage your audience. So you have to deliver some sort of like thing that people can relate with. So I mean, biggest example is everybody talks about the hook. First couple seconds of your video just needs to be like engaging, where it is like catches someone's attention, where they're like, they want to see what comes next. And the best person that does this is Mr. Beast. His videos are just amazing. What he does in a lot of his videos is he'll show people what is going to happen in the video later on, like just quick snippets of like, this is what's going to happen. And then he'll dive into the video. So people are like, oh, I want to see what happens. So it allows them to stay longer. Or that's something that like I'll do is I'll like post something that people can relate to. So a huge part of my content is dancing in your car like no one's watching. Pulling up to a stoplight, people are looking at me. I don't care what they think of me. I'm going to dance in my car because I love to dance in my car. And I think it's something that people can relate to. People sing in their car, people dance in their car. and they kind of like the amusement of watching the other person in the car.
Yeah.
So it's like if I'm just dancing in my car, the video doesn't do good. But if there's someone watching me, the video does good because people like kind of like the amusement of, oh, what's that person gonna react to? So you kind of just have to play the game and make it amusing to some degree.
Very interesting. How do you balance? Let's say I'm in real estate. How do you balance attracting the right people, but like staying in that niche, right? Because if I get a bunch of followers that none of them care about real estate and I'm about real estate, then it doesn't serve me a ton outside of credibility. How do you strategically go about that to make sure you're attracting the right people? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I don't know if there's a secret sauce for that. It's just posting in your niche, being consistent, and just I don't know if there's a secret sauce for that question.
Cool. No, that's fine. This is thrilling, dude. So you're about to pass 300K. So you've had 100. That's 100x growth in 5 months.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more than 100x. Oh no, you're right. It is 100x. My bad. Math.
That's crazy. Yeah, we didn't go to school. I dropped out. That's cool, dude. So moving on a little bit past that, I appreciate that. That's some good nuggets as far as content creation goes. Let's talk a little bit about, I want to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship, and I want to talk a little bit about God.
Okay.
Because they're two things that I think make up a lot of who you are, but also things I'm super interested in as well. So you've been doing Amazon for the last 5 years, starting to get to a point where it's going really, really well. Mm-hmm. You recently have come out with a program that does Amazon reviews, which is cool because anybody could do it, and people have, and anybody can go make real money from it and get some really cool stuff. Give us some context of this program, and then tell us a couple stories or so of some of the success you've seen with this really, really unique program. Yeah. And if you're listening to this, I'd go check this out. It's a really cool, just like if you have a wife, or if your wife's a stay-at-home wife, or if you have some extra spare time, this is a phenomenal side hustle to go create another $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month through Amazon. So give us a little snippet.
Dude, I get excited talking about this because it's just been such a blessing in my life. About a year ago, as a seller, I learned about this thing called the Amazon Influencer Program, which is where Amazon pays their influencers to create these review videos of Amazon products. These videos are then put on Amazon listings, and then when a shopper, let's say I make a video of this mic, let's say you're shopping for a mic, and you're looking at the images, you're looking at like the description, the reviews, and you come across my video, you watch it, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna buy it. And you buy it, I get a 2 to 4% commission. And the best thing is like, as an Amazon influencer, there is no capital required, there's no risk, there's like, it's crazy because of all the side hustles, all the businesses, all of the things that I've done. Like, I know the roadmap to success, and it's always like hard work, like effort, blood, sweat, and tears. And this one is just like the opposite, where it's just so easy. And it's like the easiest money I've ever made. And so when I first started, I was like, this is too good to be true. And just like made some videos of some products that I had at my house. And checked like a week later, and I made like $10. And I was like, okay, like these 10 videos, I made this much money. I was like, that means if I do this many videos, and it's just like, holy cow, this is a freaking gold mine. So I just started like creating these videos like crazy. Me and my brother were just creating all these videos. And like in our first month, I think
30-second videos.
Yeah. 30-second, 60-second video with your phone. No mic, no editing. Like, you don't need anything. You literally just pick up your phone and film yourself talking about a product. And in our first month, we like probably made like $5,000. And it's just like, dude, this is the stupidest money ever. And we kind of thought, like, do we just like keep going with this, or do like we share this? And we like to have like an abundant mentality, something that you and I both truly believe in, just like not having a scarcity mindset. Like, no, let's like share this. Got our family involved. We now have like 90% of our family doing it. We created a course We have like 300 plus students, and it has just been so fun and so gratifying to see not only the success that we have, but just like my friends, family, strangers, just like creating the life that they want because they're just reviewing Amazon products. My sister has had the goal to quit her 9 to 5 for who knows how long. And she's selling life insurance. And after 4 months of doing the Amazon influencer program, she quit her full-time job and is now just a full-time influencer.
Wow.
It is like, and that is just like so fulfilling to know, like, there's so many ways to make money out there, and this one is just one of the easiest.
That's special. Tell them about all the goodies you get.
Yeah, so something that makes this like even more too good to be true is once you've done a certain amount of videos, brands start to notice you. They'll go to their competitors and they'll see your video on their competitor's listing, and then they'll reach out to you and say, hey, I see you review this product. Will you review mine? And so then they'll send you a product for free. And so like every single day I get boxes and boxes and packages just showing up to my porch from brands who want me.
Do you have to confirm or do they just send it?
I confirm.
Okay.
When I first started, I was confirming everything, but now I only say yes to the things that I want.
Gotcha.
Or that I can resell.
Gotcha.
And so all of this like stuff is just coming, but not only are they sending it to me for free, but they're actually paying me to send it to me for free, which like still doesn't matter how many times I say it. It just sounds so ludicrous. They'll send me like, let's say literally I've gotten like lav mics before. So a company will send me a mic, like it's probably a super expensive mic, but could get this sent to me for free, and I would make a 60-second video of it, and they'll pay me $20 to $40 to make a video of it for 60 seconds. And then not only that, but I'm going to put this video on Amazon, and it's going to make passive income forever. It's crazy.
Wow. And then you go resell it, or
I could resell it. And then another one is they could buy the rights to the video so they could use it on their website or on their social media.
Wow.
And so there's just like so many ways
cool.
to make.
Is it too late to get involved?
Not at all.
Is it early still?
It is early still. Now, I will say, like, when it first started, it probably was a little bit more lucrative, but like, it is still like everybody should be doing this.
Cool.
It's truly amazing.
That's cool. That's exciting. I love it. If people want to learn more about that, where could they go?
They could DM me on Instagram. I do my best to get to all my DMs. Kade_Peterson. They could look up my brother Trevin Peterson on YouTube. We have a ton of videos teaching people how to do this. There's also a YouTube channel I started called Viral View. We created a software for Amazon influencers that just made like the Amazon influencer program even easier. It's like now that we've been in the space for like a year, we've noticed like some holes in the market of like what would make it easier for us as Amazon influencers. So we created this software, and it just makes the process even better, more lucrative. And so there's a channel called Viral View, and it's View, VUE, Viral View, and you can learn a ton from that channel as well. So those 3 places I'd probably say.
Cool. I love it, dude. As you're scaling this program, courses, helping people, what's the common things that you see within people that are holding them back from being successful per se in something like this? But just in general, like, what are the common attributes that you're seeing that are impeding people from going from one level to the next, from breaking out of the 9 to 5, or from just taking that another level up in their life? And the reason I ask that is because you're in a position now where you're seeing a lot of people do this, and some might not even buy the course. Some might buy the course and then never do anything with it, or some might, just phase out after 2 weeks. What do you see make someone successful? Yeah. And then what are the common traits that you see that make them not?
I love that question because like I'm so passionate about this and passionate about helping people, and I know it does not matter who you are, you can make money from this, and like I want to help someone do it. And it's crazy like how many people are so hesitant or so like scared to do it. And it's like I wish I could just like give you the knowledge that I know, because you would understand. And And I think the biggest reason, the biggest thing holding people back is fear. Just the scarcity mindset that like there isn't enough money to go around, or they're not enough. Like a lot of people see that I do content creation and that I sell on Amazon, and they're like, oh, you're successful with this because you like know how to make content and you know how to sell on Amazon. So this is like the perfect thing for you. But it's like, no, you can do this. So people like just don't think they're enough. They think they're just not good enough to do something as easy as this and be great at it. So I think it's just fear. People are scared to get out of their comfort zone, to do something different and go out there and try something.
Very interesting. Along with fear, I feel like your brand is you have conquered fear, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if you fear anything. I'd be surprised if you do.
I still do. I try to act like I don't.
No, it's good, dude. I remember one of your Conquer 30 challenges. This one just for some reason impacted me so deeply.
I'm excited for this.
It was when you had to call your ex-girlfriend and say, basically, what do you think about me? What are things that I could do to improve? Like, bro, just the thought of doing that myself would just shake me to my core, bro.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about some of the challenges you've done in the formula, like the formula from going to I fear, I'm scared, I don't want to do this, to I do it.
Yeah. Dude, this is good stuff, man. This is good stuff. So I'll dive into that one challenge. Yeah, I called my ex-girlfriend. I haven't talked to her, seen her in like 2 years.
Since you probably broke up, right? Right around there.
I'd seen her like a couple times after, but yeah, basically since we broke up. And so yeah, just to FaceTime her out of the blue.
She's not married, is she?
She's not married. Okay. No. I wouldn't have called her if she was married. I mean, I guess I didn't know for sure, but I didn't think she was. But yeah, dude, it's just like, dude, I'll never, like, I was sitting in my car. So that challenge I was supposed to actually do that earlier in the challenge, but I kept putting it off because I was like,
I mean, I
don't want to do this one, but I put it down because I was like, this is tough. And I kept putting it off. And then just one day I was just like, the longer you wait, the worse it's going to get. The best time to do something is when you least want to do it.
Yeah.
And so it's like time is like what feeds fear. So that like if you can just do something right in the moment, like fear happens like usually before whatever it is. Like, you know, like right before this podcast or right before you
jumping off a cliff. The longer you wait, it's like, holy crap.
But once you're actually doing it, like if for anybody who's gone skydiving, the scariest part is going up.
Yeah.
But once you're like actually falling, all of a sudden fear is gone.
Yeah.
And that's just how the brain is wired. It's trying to protect you and keep you from danger. And so it's just like, I was so scared before, and I was like, you know what, screw it. And I just hit call, and my heart was racing. And then once she answered, like it was still so uncomfortable, but like it was way scarier, just like the thought of what could happen than actually doing it. And yeah, just like being like, hey, like, what are my strengths and weaknesses? And she's an awesome girl, and we ended on good terms, so it wasn't like super bad.
Did she give you?
Yeah, she did.
Cool.
And it was like it's one of my favorite challenges, actually. I called you 2 years ago. I don't even know if you remember that. Ask you what my strengths and weaknesses are. It's one of my like favorite challenges that I think everyone should do, is just ask someone that you're close to, ask someone who you like work with, that you live with, what are your strengths and weaknesses. You know, you think you know your strengths and weaknesses, but someone else might have a different point of view. And just like having the humility to take that is super impactful. And then diving back into the fear aspect, before I do anything, ice bath, like any of my physical challenges, my emotional challenges, it's just like, holy cow, this is going to suck. This is like, just, you feel that fear. Everyone knows that fear. But what I've learned is being uncomfortable is never as bad nor lasts as long as your brain makes it out to be. So like I said, the feeling of fear and the desire for comfort is like an instinct that is in every living creature. Like animals have this exact same feeling, to protect ourselves. And we feel these emotions to try and protect us from being in danger But we live in a world of so much comfort that we don't experience a lot of discomfort, to where a lot of things make us uncomfortable these days. Like you said, like being in a room that's like 1 degree colder than you're used to, all of a sudden you're like, this is uncomfortable. You know, we're so used to comfort that we don't know what discomfort like feels like. And so just pushing past that fear and just doing it anyways, just like teaches you to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable and getting over that fear. And it's like, you say like, I don't fear anything, but fear truly never goes away. You just find a better way to navigate it. And so now, because I've done all of these things, it's like, I still feel fear, but I'm familiar with it and I know how to navigate it and push past it.
Become familiar with fear.
Yeah.
So I'm scared of heights.
Yeah.
Or that's the story I've told myself. I'm not sure. I've skydived, stuff like that. Like it's been good to get a little bit more familiar with it.
Yeah.
But can you truly, is it possible to go from I fear heights to I no longer fear heights?
I think it is. But I think there are levels to it. Like, I bet if you became like a skydiving instructor, and like literally jumped out of a plane 6 times a day, over and over and over again, there would be a time when you're about to jump and like you're like, well, like this isn't as scary. You still might feel like a little bit of nerve, but like just the more you do something, the easier it is. Like you in the door-to-door sales space, like I guarantee every single one of your reps, the first time they knock a door is just terrified, just so scared. But like after you knock hundreds and hundreds of doors, all of a sudden like that fear is gone. Like it still might not be like as comfortable as sitting in a chair doing nothing, but like the more you do things that are uncomfortable, just the easier and easier it becomes.
That makes sense. I want to transition a little bit. In closing, where we met was on the mission. Greatest experience of my entire life, and it's so sacred and important. And I'm just so glad that we experienced that together in a lot of moments. In a world of individuals that don't have a ton of sight on God per se, or a ton of focus on God, like the longer the world exists, the more we kind of break away from God. 100 years ago, I think 99% of the population probably believed in God. Today, it's probably half.
Yeah.
What role has God played in your life?
Everything, dude. Everything that I have, everything I've learned, everything that I've earned is because of him. Like the being able to just lean on him during my hard times, during my biggest times of discomfort, whether I was seeking it intentionally or not, being able to thank him and celebrate with him during my times of happiness truly is just like the biggest blessing to me. Like God wants to be part of every aspect of my life. And so I make him part of every aspect of my life, my business, my personal, my spiritual, like my mental, like my friends, family. I include him in every part of my life. And I'm just like so grateful and blessed to know and feel his love and presence in my life, and to just be able to have that knowledge that there is someone out there who is watching over and helping me in everything that I do.
I love that. When I think of you, another thing that comes to mind is I would refer to you as incredibly Christ-like, and I know that's
I appreciate that.
Some of that you are intentional about. Who is Jesus Christ to you?
It's getting deep here, man. I mean, the first thing that came to my head was mi hermano mayor, which is my big brother. And when I think of that, it's just someone who would give and did give everything for me. He took upon himself every pain, every suffering, every affliction that I've ever felt and ever will feel. not just of me, but of everybody. And it doesn't matter like who is listening right now, like Christ knows and has felt every feeling that you have felt and would take upon himself any pain and suffering that you've gone through. It truly, there's no words to express. And it blows my mind just what he went through for us, and just the amount of love that he has for us is just truly remarkable.
Amen. In closing, a lot of this audience is people that are entrepreneurs, I think spiritual, I think just want to progress in a lot of aspects of their life. Is there any last thing that you'd like to say to them?
Yeah. Doesn't matter what it is that you are trying to do in life. Whoever's listening right now, I don't know what goal or motive you have, but whatever it is, you are not going to do it being comfortable. A lot of people try to get to their goals through motivation. Beginning of the year, everyone is motivated to achieve their New Year's resolution. 92% of people fail by the end of the year. And the reason is because they rely on motivation, but motivation is temporal. It comes and goes. And so you will never achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve if you rely on motivation, because there's going to be days when you are no longer motivated. So whatever it is you're trying to do, you have to learn how to be disciplined, to do the things even when you don't want to do them. Any entrepreneur will know there are days that suck, days that you don't want to do something. Those are the days that you need to do it. And this is for every aspect of life. If you can learn how to be disciplined, how to be uncomfortable in every aspect, it carries over in all aspects. I want to toot your horn for a second. You are one of the most disciplined people I know. The way you go about work, family, and life is truly amazing. The way that you're able to do things even when you don't want to do them is awesome. You recently just decided to go run a marathon. Now, you haven't ran in 3 years. And anybody who is a runner, anybody who's not a runner, should know that like running a marathon untrained, first of all, is not smart. And it sounds impossible. Like I run all the time. And like the thought of me doing a marathon right now is crazy. But not only did you do a marathon, you did 37 miles. 37 miles, dude. Like it still blows my mind. And I like when I saw that you were going to do that, like there was no doubt in my mind that you weren't, you know? And if some random person was like, I'm gonna run a marathon today, I'd be like, no, you're not. But because you have like showed the discipline in other aspects of your life, like the thought of quitting, the thought of, no, I'm not gonna finish, didn't like hit you. You know what it's like to push through that like mind game of like, man, I'm uncomfortable right now, I should probably stop. But you know what that feeling feels like. And so when you're uncomfortable in this aspect of your life, you can be uncomfortable in this aspect. And so that is just so cool to see the discipline that you had to go, not only the marathon, but go 37 miles. Like, dude, props to you, man. Absolutely amazing. So I love that you were able to exercise that discipline that you've worked so hard in your life to develop and apply it in an aspect of your life that is so out of your comfort zone.
Thank you, brother. That means a lot to me. I appreciate you saying that. If people want to find you, what's your Instagram handle? What's your YouTube? And how do we go watch these dancing videos on TikTok?
I would say that my main social media is Instagram, Kade_Peterson, Kade with a K, Peterson SON, and that's where, that's the majority of my content is formed around. Feel free to DM me. Like I said, the main reason why I share my journey is to not only hold myself accountable, but to also motivate, help, and inspire other people to do the same. I just feel so grateful with what I've learned and how much I've grown with getting out of my comfort zone that I feel obligated to share this knowledge with everyone else. And that's why I share my journey. And so nothing makes me happier than when I get a DM from someone that is wanting to change or has changed or whatever it may be. Like I feel I get a lot of fulfillment from that. So
cool, dude. Well, thanks for being who you are. I love being around people that inspire. and people can inspire in different ways, whether that's they bought a jet, like that fires me up for them.
Yeah.
And that's like cool that someone can accomplish that, or they got the house, or they did that investment, or they did that marathon or that challenge. And you're just inspiring, bro. So love you and love who you are and who you're being.
Dude, like I said, there's not very many people that I look up to like you. So I appreciate you having me on, and love you too, bro.
Thanks, man. We'll see you guys next week. Appreciate it.